guys, I'm gonna give you a rundown on my old XR400 that I call my Hon-Taco. This is a really cool bike. Let me just first start off by talking to you a little bit about the drivetrain. So it is a 2000 XR400. It's all air cooled, it's a kickstart bike. To me, probably one of the most dependable bikes that's out there ever. This is like the 12-valve Cummins of the dirt bike, if you ask me. It's pretty mechanical. You fire it up, you can beat it, you can ride the hell out of this thing for years, and it doesn't require a lot of maintenance. They're just very tough. They're air cooled, so you don't have to worry about breaking a radiator if you fall down. You know, these are great old bikes. All through the 90s and the 2000s, the XR400 really was kind of the bike to have, aside of when they went to the CRF 250s and 450s and they started getting into a, you know, liquid cooled 4-stroke bike. But this in its time was probably one of the best bikes. I still to this day ride an XR400. I love the dependability of it. Now the crossbreed with it is this Hon-Taco. The 1977 Persang Hon-Taco was a super cool bike. Actually, out of the Hon-Taco dirt bikes, it was probably one of my favorite. I love the color, and I love the way that the bike looked. It had a really racy look, actually, the bike. The whole bike basically has that Spaniard theme. I mean, Persang Hon-Taco was a Spaniard-built bike in Spain. So I thought that the saddle that's on this would go really good with it because it's got a Spanish theme on the saddle. I mean, this is an actual real Mexican saddle. And I don't know, turn of the century, it's got to be something 1800s to the early 1900s. Probably, I would say more 1800s when guys were riding horses back then. But I put the saddle on the bike to kind of just give that quirky feel and make it look pretty cool. And then on here, the saddle horn right here is actually one of my old rodeo belt buckles. I used to rodeo for, I don't know, 20 years. I had horses and cattle and team roped, and this is one of the buckles that I won, and I thought it just fit on here. It looks cool. It kind of gives it a little class, especially with, you know, the conchos that are on here and all the little money coins that you can see everywhere on the bike. There's like little accents of coin everywhere on here. Kind of gives it that gambler, you know, a little bit of a outlaw look is what it is. On the back of the exhaust pipe right here is the cinch, and the cinch is actually what holds the saddle to your horse. And it kind of goes underneath the girth of the horse. So when you put a saddle on a horse, you cinch it up and it sucks the saddle to the horse so the saddle doesn't fall off or it doesn't roll off the side. This cinch is what holds the saddle on. But I didn't want to get rid of it. I wrapped it around here. It looks really cool. It's very authentic. It's very old, and it looks really good, you know. And then I got this old knife on here. Probably something that's World War I would be this knife, and then a spare spark plug in case something goes down. Of course, I got a 357 on here. You never know what's gonna happen. You know, unfortunately, I had to weld the hammer solid on here, so you can't cock it no more. It's just for looks. But it looks cool on there. That is a real 357 on there. Now, also with this XR400, when they built these bikes, they made about 34 horsepower. This bike with a shot of nitrous probably makes, I don't know, maybe 60 horsepower. So once you spray it with the nitrous, you better be holding on to the handlebars because it's gonna pull the front wheel off the ground. It does run good on nitrous. Okay, one of the other things is I put the Supermoto kit on it. It's got a little bit wider wheel, lower profile, and a smaller wheel in the front, which kind of gives it that Supermoto look. I love it. The bike rides really bitchin'. The gear in the back, I dropped some teeth size on the sprocket, so this thing will actually go down the highway at 75, 80 miles an hour, and it does do that. Okay, so what I did is I basically put some Pro Taper bars on it and went over the grips with some leather, tied it on here, put some conchos across the front, an old headlight, probably off an old truck. This front fender actually came off the Hon-Taco. So I've got this on the front. It looks pretty good just to kind of keep it that old look. Now, on this side of the saddle, you know, I wanted to make sure it kept that Spanish, you know, feel. Now, my girlfriend's a Mexican girl, and her mom went to Mexico and got me this little puppet. So I just leave him in here because he's kind of cool looking. He rides with me everywhere. See how his hat's all blown up from going 80 miles an hour down the highway? And then I got a flask in here, my little WelderUp flask. See that? There ain't shit in it because I don't drink and drive. I mean, I don't even drink. But it's cool to have in there. Down in here, which is pretty, like you want to keep on you all the time, if I can get in here, is, I'm gonna get my little homeboy out of here. This is my little puppet. You like that little dude? He looks good, doesn't he? So what you want to keep in here at all times is a metric nut and bolt kit for your bike, because you never know if you're going to need one of these. So you always keep one of those in there. I got fuel line hoses in here. I got tape. I got some copper wire, hose clamps, all kinds of stuff down in there, believe it or not. So you want to always keep a little extra stuff on the road when you're cruising around. Hose clamps, crescent wrench, you know what I mean? And a screwdriver. You always want to keep these little things on you. So anyway, I'm set up to go and have some fun in this bike and go cruising. And one of these days, I think I'm gonna take it down to the Baja. I'm gonna race the Baja in this baby. What do you think? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I just wanted to run you through my XR400. It's a really cool bike. It's been a lot of fun. Okay, so on the bike, you can see that the motor's kind of got like a gold tint to it. Basically, I called Travis Dieter up and I said, Trav, can you come over and give me some tips on this motor and how you would think that it would look good? So he just started painting it black, the whole motor, because the motor actually comes from the factory kind of a silver color. So painted it all black and then just kind of started to faux brush it with some gold. And that's how it turned out. It looks really good. It looks patinaed. Even with the nitrous bottles. The nitrous bottles look like some old whiskey bottles and they turned out really good. All this is your nitrous right here. You can see right here that it's actually plumbed into the intake. So this isn't just for show. This actually really works. And there's a bottle here and a bottle on the other side. I thought it'd be cool to have 2 bottles on each side so that way it looks like a badass. Okay, now that we've got the bike explained and you kind of understand it a little bit more, I'm gonna take this thing out and go for a little ride. Let's go check it out. Well, that was a little ride on the old XR400. This thing is great. It's fun to get out, go cruise around. You can take it out to the old, there's an old bar out here about 20 miles from here that's an old biker bar. It's fun to ride it out there. It's fun to go cruise it down the strip and have a good time. But right now I'm gonna park it back in the living room where it belongs so I don't kill myself on it. Hope you enjoyed it.